Be'ezer Hashem, we're starting a brand new Masechta Arachin. The Mishnah starts off, Hakol Ma'arichim v'Nerachim Noidrim v'Nidarim. Everybody is in the concept of Arachin. What is Arachin? Arachin is the Torah gives certain amounts per person. For instance, a male between the age of 5 and 20 is 20 shekel. A male from 20 to 60 is 50 shekel. So, if Reuven says, Erech Shimon Alai, whatever the Torah describes Shimon as, that's what I want to give to the Beis HaMikdash, he must pay 50 shekel if Shimon is between the age of 20 and 60. And if Shimon says, Erech Reuven Alai, and Reuven is only 18 years old, so Shimon would have to pay 20 shekel to the Beis HaMikdash. So Hakol Ma'arichim, everybody can say on somebody else, I want Erech somebody on me, and everybody could be a Ne'erach. That means they could be the subject of Erechin. So somebody could look at them and say, I want the Erech of that person on me. Nidarim is completely different. We don't go on the amount that the Torah says. 20, 50, 15, Zachar and Nekeva are different amounts. We go by the market value of the slave. Whatever a slave is worth. So if you point at somebody and that someone is worth $1 million in the slave market, so you have to give $1 million to the Beis HaMikdash. Everybody's in this category, Kohanim, Leviim, Yisraelim, Nashim. That means, according to Rashi, if a woman gets divorced, she would have to pay retroactively. An Eved, if a slave is freed, he would have to pay retroactive what he promised while he was a slave. Unless a woman, places says, has money on her own, she got money on condition that her husband doesn't touch it. A Tumtum and Androgynous are in 3 out of the 4 categories. They could do Erechin, they could do Nidarim, and people could do Nidarim on them, but people cannot do Erechin on them because they are not a Zachar or Nekeva, so you can't say Erech Tumtum Alai. Cher Sheret V'Katan, people could do Erechin on them and Nidarim on them, but the Cher Sheret V'Katan can't do Erechin and Davis because they don't have Das. And now the Gemara goes into a very lengthy discussion into tomorrow's Daf. Why does the Mishnah start off with the word Hakol? Hakol comes to include something that's not in the Mishnah, and the Gemara is going to bring many examples throughout Shas, different sugyas where it says the word Hakol and what that comes to include. But else it says Hakol Ma'arichim, everybody can do Haracha. It comes to include a Mufla Samach Leish. That means a boy who's 12 years and a day old, he could do a Erech, and he could say Erech Pleni Alai. Ne'erachim means everybody can have an Erech. Somebody can look at even a Mukashchin, a Menuvel, somebody that on the slave market has zero value, but in the Erechin, he has value just like anybody else, because the Torah says nafshois, it has to do with his nefesh and not what his value is. Noidrim, Hakol Noidrim, doesn't come to include anything, but it's just there because it says Nidarim. And what does Nidarim come to say? That although in Erechin, a baby that's under a month old has 0 Erechin, but when it comes to Nidarim, it goes by the value, and babies have a lot of value on the market. So therefore they are in the category, and the Mishnah says Hakol over here and explains it later on in Daf Hey what it means, and that is a baby that's under a month old. When the Mishnah says Hakol Soimchim Umamirim in another Masechta, everybody has to do smicha on an animal for a carbon, and you can do tumura. Anybody can do tumura. It comes to include a yoresh. Somebody inherited an animal that his father designated as a carbon, and the yoresh brings his father's carbon after his father's death. The yoresh, the inheritor, has to lean on top of the animal, and he has the right to make Tmura. You can look at another animal and say, I want that animal to be instead of this animal, and they both become Kaddish, and it's also their rights to do that. According to Rabbanon, it says in the Pasuk, and it actually comes to exclude Rabbi Yehuda, because Rabbi Yehuda says that a yoresh does not do Tmura and doesn't do Smicha. One is dependent on the other. According to Rabbanon, it says in the Torah Karboni 3 times. One is to exclude Smicha for a guy's carbon, a friend's carbon, and to include if there are many people or a few people that have a partnership in a carbon, each and every one has to do Smicha, where according to Rabbi Yehuda, according to one Shita, Rabbi Yehuda would hold that one partner could do the Smicha for all, or perhaps he holds no, every single partner has to do Smicha, but he could learn Goy and a friend from one carbon. The Torah says Hamir Yamir, that the Chachamim learn from there that even a Yeresh has to do Smicha. And according to Rabbi Yehuda, it comes to include a woman, she has to do Smicha. Now, the Gemara is going to go through a bunch of sugyas now. It says by Sukkah, Hakol Chayovim Besukkah, it comes to include a young child who doesn't need his mother, doesn't scream at night, Mami, Mami. you must be mechanachim midrabanan in sukkah to eat in the sukkah and to sleep in the sukkah. That's the halacha. And when it says everybody's chayiv in lulav, it means a katan who knows how to shake a lulav, and everybody's chayiv in tzitzis, it means a katan that knows how to do ituf. According to one pshat and Tosfos, it means he knows how to wrap his head like an Arab. According to another pshat, he knows how to put the front of the tzitzis in the front and the back in the back. Tefillin, any katan who knows how to wash his body, b'nekios, clean body, then he must wear tefillin b'chinuch. When the Mishnah says everybody's chayiv, akol chayav and beriya, you have to go to Beis Hamikdash, it comes to include even a half a slave. And according to Ravina that says that a half a slave is potter, it comes to include a lame person who was crippled on the first day of Yom Tov but was healed on the second day, that he's chayiv in riyah. And according to the Madama that says he's not, it comes to include a person who's blind in one eye, and not like the Madama that darshans Yerod, like HaKadosh Baruch Hu he sees it with full vision, so too a blind person that only could see with one eye is potter. Now, it could be, it goes even according to Ravina, who says that a Chatzi Eved is potter. Over here, it could be, even Ravina would admit that Beis Hill, at the end of the day, admitted that you force the master to release that Eved, so he has a halacha of a fully released Eved, and therefore he's chayiv. It says, Hakol chayom b'tkiya shofar, it comes to include even a youngster, 9 or 10 Rashi says, or 8 or 9, and he would be allowed to blow a shofar yontif. And when it says Hakol chayom b'mikra megillah, it comes to include a woman, sha'afem hayu bais hanes, they were in the nays, and as Rashi points out, that even a woman can be moitzi a man b'mikra megillah, although Tosfos brings the halachas dolos, that's Mechulek and Rashi. Have a wonderful day.